This week it has been so nice to finally be outside in the sunshine, and with Easter coming this weekend, I've been working on a little bit of an Easter project which I'm going to share with you today. I also am going to show you the fabric I have chosen for our reception room, and I'm really excited to see this fabric up at the windows and curtains, so I'm going to show you that. But first, it's such a beautiful day today. I thought I'd come outside with my tea and have a little bit of a walk around the garden and just see whether there's any first signs of spring. It is so quiet out here today. I can hear the birds singing, and it's just so peaceful. You can see behind me we've still got some snow, but most of it is gone, and so I'm just out here with my mug of tea, just having a little bit of a walk around and looking at the places that we've planted last year. We added lots and lots of tulips that should come up this year, which we're excited about, and obviously our plants that we planted last year. But I'm on the search to see whether I can find any signs of spring, any of our tulips that are coming up, because I'm just excited to see colour back in our garden. So I've just found a few of our tulips which are just starting to peek through, which is very exciting. There's two there, one there, and a couple over here. It's always lovely to see those first shoots of green. We still have lots of leaves from last year, but we try and leave the leaves just obviously because it's good for the insects and the ground and the plants, so we try not to take too much of that away because it's obviously good for, but it definitely needs a little bit of clearing up, and it's going to be lovely when this is full of colour. As it's Easter this weekend, I thought I'd work on a little bit of a spring project this week, and out in our entrance hall we have this beautiful curved piece of furniture, and I always like to put some kind of display on top, and there's not really anything on there at the moment, so I thought I would create something that's very Eastery and very spring-like. And I had a few ideas I thought I would share with you because they're so simple, and I thought maybe they would be something that you could use in your home too. And the first idea that I'm going to use is actually come from a really good friend of mine, Cindy. Now, she messaged me this week about a project she was working on, and I just loved it so much I am borrowing her idea, thank you Cindy, and I'm going to add it to my display as well. So very simply, it's just one of our my big terracotta pots. Now these pots, I've got lots of them and they come in all different shapes and sizes. I absolutely love terracotta pots. These all came from Dollarama. They're very simple, very easy, and very cheap. Now, obviously, they're not the aged ones, and to be honest with you, the aged terracotta pots are just gorgeous, but I don't have any of those. Now, there are some techniques to age these newer ones, and I think maybe I'll have to do that at some point, but for now, even just the ones that I've just recently bought still look great. So I've gone outside the manor and I've just filled it with soil, very simply, and then I'm actually going to add some of my moss. Now, you'll know if you've been following me for a while, I love moss. And again, I actually buy it in the dollar store, and I have it around all the time because I use it in all sorts of different projects. And I just love the texture. It's obviously very close to nature, and it really kind of brings a bit of the the outside in when you're working on things. So I've just put some moss on the top of this, the soil in the pot. And then I have some pussy willow. Now this, I've actually had for a while. I'm just gonna cut it down a bit because it's a little bit long. And all I'm gonna do is just place that in the middle of my pot. Now, I know with Cindy's idea that she actually had a few pieces, and that looked really pretty too. So you could either do it like I've done with just one big piece, and obviously this one, it kind of feels like a branch and it sits beautifully in the middle, or you could do multiple pieces. But the one thing I love about this is that you could totally make this into a little Easter tree. So these little branches, you could have some little mini eggs or little wooden eggs or some little Easter decorations and just hang them from the branches. and it would look really, just really pretty. So very simple, and you wouldn't even need to use pussy willow. You could actually just use some branches that you find outside, put them in the pot, and they would be great for a centerpiece. It would be great for a table. Just really simple. And you know, in these, I've got all sorts of different sizes. So you could again do even smaller versions. So you could have some with just smaller branches that come out of these smaller pots. The other thing I'm going to use these terracotta pots for is very simply to put my flowers in. And you'll remember last week I used these on my set. And these are just really pretty. I just picked these up at the nursery last week, and just very spring-like. And again, just having a few of those around. The other thing I'm going to use on my display are a few of my teacups. Now you'll remember again, I love using teacups, and these ones I've used lots of times for different things. These ones are just potted with succulents or little flowers. These ones are actually less like succulents and more like little flowers, but I figured this would look a bit more Eastery. So I've chosen 2 of those as well. So I'm now going to take all of these pieces and I'm going to take them outside, and I'm going to start assembling them on my piece of furniture. So I'm just putting the final touches on my Easter display, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. So a nice lot of colour and some different textures, and it's been very easy and simple to do. So I used a really simple trick at the back here to get some height. I've just used 2 of my terracotta pots, turned them upside down and put a piece of wood on top. And the wood and the terracotta go so well together. It's a great texture and it gives those heights, the height for those plants, those flowers at the back, which is really nice. But I've also used some vintage books for height as well, because they're always a great way if you're wanting to get height in any kind of display. And then I've added in my flowers, my pot that we made earlier with the pussy willow in it. And then I've actually, here at the front, I've actually turned one of the pots on its side and actually put the plant in the sideways too, which is kind of maybe a little bit odd, but I think it works really well and gives a really nice effect. And then at the back here, I have added this beautiful plant that I have, and I found an old apple basket that I've used to put that in. So again, just keeping with the kind of wood and the terracotta textures that make it feel like it's outside in spring and garden. And I think it's turned out really just beautifully. I've got to take this set apart today, but it's so pretty and it looks so lovely in the reception room that I kind of almost want to keep it, but it has to go because we have to put the room back. But I've just been looking at the fabric that I picked up for this room. So I have been searching for a long time trying to decide what is the best fabric for the curtains in this reception room. And we have such big bay windows, these beautiful big bay windows that overlook the big oak tree right at the front of the manor. And so I wanted something that really was soft and gentle but made a statement. And I found this material a little while ago. And I just got it back out again because now the mural's coming together, and I'm going to start this week painting the rest of the room. I want to get my curtains ready, and I think this is just going to be really pretty in this room. It's it got the colours are very gentle. It's got that very vintage feel to it, which I really wanted this room to have. And it also ties nicely with the music room because we've got that sulking room pink in the music room, so it's going to give, they're not going to be exactly the same, but they complement each other as spaces. So I'm excited to see this up as curtains. So the next job is to actually make the curtains. So I'm hoping to do that in the next couple of weeks, and then I'll actually be able to show you what they look like up on the bay windows. If you've been waiting for the latest update on our gorgeous mural, then unfortunately you've got to wait another week. We will be updating you next week on all the progress, where it's got to, what it looks like. So you're going to have to wait a few more days to see where we've got to, but it's looking fantastic, so I can't wait to show you next week. But I'm going to get this set all cleared up. I've started working on it, and I've got to get the rest of it cleared up, and so I'm going to get working on that, and I will see you back here next week for the update on the mural and lots more on our next episode of the Lady Swift Manor Diaries.